Hello from your friendly ITC Geeks. My name's Trapper Hallam, and today we're going to talk about how to access and set up Soft School for your virtual open house. In this video, we'll cover how to log in and get in either for the first time or a previous time. We'll also look at setting that up, and then finally we'll create a meeting link in Teams so that we can add to Soft School so that you're all set for your open house. So without any further ado, let's take a look. Okay, to get this started, we're going to go to our email. In your email, you're going to receive one from appointments@softschool.com. You can see that will look like this here. Also in that email, you're going to get some important information. One is the link to your school's Soft School. Each one's unique, so make sure you're using just this link. Okay, you can find that here. You'll also receive your username and a password. It'll be generic if it's your first time logging in, which when we get into Soft Schools, you can change to any password that you like, and I'd recommend that you do. If you don't, you'll have an existing password and username that you're going to need to remember. That's okay if you don't, because in Soft Schools also, we'll be able to recover those using your email. So here's your usernames, and you can see that they vary between these two, and then additionally, the password may also be different. So either way, we'll get you all set up. Let's do that now. All right, so let's click on our Soft School link. Click on that. It should open up directly to Soft School for you. And then in here, you're going to go ahead and use that username and that password to log in right here. So let's go ahead and do that. And again, these may be different for you. We're going to go ahead and click on Staff Login. And you can see here if you did log in previously and you've forgotten your username or password, you can use this link to use your school email to recover those. So now we're inside Soft School, and it doesn't look like much, but this is everything that we need. The first thing we're going to want to do is go down here, and you're going to see that there's a session for your open house. You may also see your old conference sessions in there as well. Just make sure that you choose the one here that has the dates coordinating to your virtual open house. So let's do that now. And it'll set this up, and what it'll show you are all the different time slots that have been made available and how that looks. This will be discussed further by your administration because they're going to be the ones setting it up. But what you should see is something similar to our regular open houses and the time slots that you had available before. This will allow all of your parents to click on this, and then more than one this time will be able to get that email. So up to 50 is the number that we have, and then that'll be sent out. But let's talk about getting it set up. Okay, I wanted to jump in here and add, if somehow you get an email from a parent that they couldn't get into Soft School because it was blocked, that there were too many people that signed up, which isn't going to happen. You're not going to have more than 50 people sign up. But if that's the case, it's not a big deal. All we're going to do is take the link that we're going to make here in a minute for your virtual Teams open house, and we're going to send it to the parent through email. Soft School is not going to block them from getting in. Teams can hold 300 people in the meeting. So it's just a matter of Soft School only allows 50 invites per session block. So that's not a big deal. Send them the email and then go ahead and tell them what time to come in, and then you can move on. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the video. So if we come in here to my profile, you'll see, and you'll want to verify any of the information here and make sure that it's all correct. So you can see here we can change our username if we choose to. It's my email right now, and that's fine. If you need to change your password once you're in because it says change me, go ahead and change that by clicking here. Additionally, make sure that this information looks about right. It says teacher to be determined. In this case, it may say virtual open house here. It can be anything, but that doesn't matter to our conditions. What we're going to want to do, though, is that right here, you can leave a note to your parents if you choose to. I'll leave that up to you. But the most important part is we need to make a Teams meeting link for this portion right here. Hi, I just wanted to jump in here real quick and add a piece of information that I didn't add before. When you do log in to your school soft conference manager, and I go in the rest of the video and tell you to make a new video link or Teams meeting link, you don't have to do that. If you've already set this up before, your meeting link is there and can be reused. So this is useful if you don't have time and or if you forgot. That link is already there and you're like, wait, but how do I access the link? Well, if you log into your conferences like we've already seen, right down here, you can actually click on this link. It will work. It'll take you into your meeting. One thing to note is that you want to go up to the top of the meeting, click on the three dots and go to meeting options, because those have changed now. And as we'll show in the video when we get to that part, you're going to want to re-customize those options to the new ones that we suggest, or whatever ones you choose. But do take a look at those meeting options so you can set them up appropriately for your meeting, your virtual open house. All right, let's get back to the video. So what we're going to do, I'm going to add in one little extra step. So we're going to make that Teams meeting link, and then we're going to go to bit.ly and make it shorter and a little bit neater for your parents to see. It is optional, but it is a nice addition. So let's do that now. All right, our next step then is to leave this soft school as it is. You don't have to hit submit. If you did, it's okay too. It's not a big deal. But we're going to leave this open so we have that spot to put our link. And we're going to go over to Schoology and make our Teams meeting link there for our virtual open house. I know we can make it in different spots, but I'm going to pick the easiest one so that everybody's on board. So we're going to make it in Schoology because it quite literally is the quickest and easiest. But do note, you can do this in Outlook and or Teams. So whatever way you'd like to do it is fine. I'm going to show the easiest route. And in the description, I'll add a video to show you how to do it in Outlook if you want it to show up on your calendar. But I'm not going to show that here. So once we make the meeting link, we're going to come back to Soft School and paste it in there, and then we'll click submit. So let's go do that now. All right, let's leave Soft School and navigate our way to Schoology. I've got that open on here, so let's take a look. So I'm going to go ahead and find my way to Schoology. I'm going to click into Schoology. Now, any of these courses will work. Because we're creating the Teams meeting link here, I want you to understand the meeting link is not associated to the course. It's quite literally just a button that allows you to make a meeting, and then you have to place it somewhere. So when we do this, don't think it's automatically going to go into your course and your students will see it. They will not. So let's take a look at that now. I'm going to go into my first course, which is the Professional Development Archive. So I'm going to click on that. That's going to take me in. And then over here on the left, down past materials, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, and you may have to scroll. I'm going to go down to Teams Meetings. I'm going to click on that. That's going to open up. It may ask me to log in here. If you just click the button, it'll log you in, usually without a password or anything. So now that I'm in, it says create a meeting link. So I'm going to go ahead and click that button now. And it's going to take me to the title screen. Again, I'm going to say this one more time, just so that you don't think that anything bad's happening here. This title will need to say something like your name in it in Open House, but it will not show in your course. Okay, so I'm going to name this my first and last name and Open House, because this will show when the parents go into the actual meeting. It won't show on your Outlook, it won't show in your Schoology, but when parents log in and you log into your meeting, it will show there. So I'm going to say Trapper Hallam Open House. Now you can make that anything, you can add the date, whatever you like. That's totally yours to customize. So I'm going to click create, and then you can see that the meeting was created. But before we copy this link, let's go take a look at the meeting options, because those have changed. And we have some suggestions for you on how you should set this up. So scroll down here to where it says meeting options and go ahead and click that. A new browser tab will open. All right, here it is. So these are the new meeting options. So we'll go through them one by one and talk about how we should set up each one of these for our open house. In the first one, it's who can bypass the lobby. Now, with your students, you may have that turned off so they can just come in, right? But with these parents and the fact that we're going to use the same meeting link for all of our open house sessions, we want to make sure that we are having in the correct parents at the correct time. So we're going to go ahead and turn this off, or turn it to only me, which means that I'm the only person to bypass that lobby. Now, I'm not going to go into detail, but you could choose to invite or let people bypass that I invite if you have a co-teacher. If you need to do that, go ahead. So I'm going to choose only me. Notice how that turns off let callers bypass the lobby. It's not even an option anymore. All right, it says next, would you like to announce when callers join or leave? That one's been there before. This will just notify you in the chat if they've left or come back. With parents, I don't know if it's important to have on. I'm going to turn it off because of distractions. This one's open to you to decide how you'd like to leave that one. Who can present? This one we recommend that only you can present, because there's really no reason to see a parent's screen. We're really just sharing our classroom and our expectations and our syllabus. So there's nothing that we need from them. So we'll turn that one off to only me. Again, if you have a co-teacher, you may choose specific people and you can add them there if you'd like them to share their screen at some point. So that's an option for you as well. All right, next it says allow mic for attendees. This one was also introduced last year, so you may be familiar with it, but this takes the ability away from the parents and or students to unmute themselves. Basically, it's a hard mute and it keeps them muted the whole time. We recommend for this situation that you do turn that off, that you don't want to hear from your parents. Not that you don't want questions from them, but maybe they turn their mic on by accident and it's just an extra spot for a distraction. So we're going to turn it off. If you decide at the end of your presentation or at any point in your presentation that you would like some questions from your parents, you can change this setting again in the meeting under meeting options. Okay, so you can change this during the meeting if you want that to be on later on. Allow cameras for attendees. We think and we suggest that you leave this one on because that makes it more of an open house situation where they can see each other, makes it a little more personable. So we recommend leaving that one on. Record automatically. This one's new. Now, in my haste in setting up this meeting, I might forget to turn on the recording. Chances are I'm probably going to forget to turn on the recording. If I turn this on, which I'm going to do, this will automatically start the recording as soon as I start my meeting. So that's perfect. That way you can share that meeting recording for any parents that haven't attended the meeting or couldn't make it for some reason. So this way you automatically record it. One thing to note, we have not tested that if we use this link multiple times, that it will record each time you go into it. So when you leave your first session, make sure you end your meeting, and then when you start it again, just make sure that it restarts recording. If it doesn't, go ahead and start that manually. It's not a big deal. You can find that under the 3 dots in the meeting options or in the meeting. Okay. One of the last 2 is allow meeting chat. We have a recommendation for this one, and we say that in this case, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to disable this because the chat can get carried away at times. I'm sure you've had experiences with that. So we don't want that to distract from the actual open house. So we're going to go ahead and say disable it. Again, this is a choice for you. If you want to turn it back on in the meeting for questions or a queue of questions, you're able to do that. Again, under the 3 dots. And then allow reactions. Again, I'm going to turn this one off because I don't need any reactions, but additionally under reactions is the hand raising feature. So if you turn this off, parents will not be able to raise their hands and or notify you that they have a question. So if you're going to deal with questions at all or have any interaction back and forth with the parents, you may want to leave this one on. Again, all of these can be changed during the meeting, so if you change your mind, you can change them then. All right, I'm going to click save now, so this meeting's all set up for my virtual open house. Click save. And I'm going to go back to my Schoology tab, and now this meeting is ready to be copied. So I'm going to go down to the bottom right hand corner and click copy. You can also go to the little link here and right click on it. There's always more than one way, and say copy link, right? So either way you copy that link, we're ready to take it over to Bitly and transform that into a much nicer, prettier link. So let's do that now. All right, one more and one last quick note. This part about Bitly or the web browser, bit.ly, you just put it into your browser and go to it, and nothing to install. But this part of it is really just to make the link look better for your parents, a little less confusing. It is not necessary. You can skip this step, especially if you already did it once for the previous meeting that you had. If you already have that link, that one will work just fine as I told you before, but you don't have to do this part. You can put that giant link that comes from Teams inside of your conference manager, right? Into SchoolSoft. It will work, but I like things to be a little bit more transparent for my parents. I would go through this step, but that doesn't mean that you need to. So if you're short on time, you're a little confused about Bitly, even though I'm about to show you how to use it, you can skip this step. It is completely optional. All right, back to the video. So I'm going to navigate over to Bitly. I'm going to choose that. I've already got it open right here. And in Bitly, it may ask you to create a free account. It is free. It's pretty simple to create. So go ahead and make that. And then once you get in, it looks rather complicated, but I'll tell you it's really pretty easy. We're going to come up here to create. So under create, we're going to choose the option link. So when we choose link, it'll open up a little sidebar here where we only have to enter a little bit of information. The first part we're going to enter is where it says enter long URL, and it highlights it right away. So I'm going to click in there and I'm going to Control V, and you can see how big and ugly that link is. And that's going to be annoying on your Soft School page when you go to show that to your parents or when they see it. So we're all set here. You don't have to choose anything else. We're going to go ahead and click Create. All right, now a little sidebar should pop open showing you the information that's there. It'll give it a title. Notice it says Join Conversation. So let's change that. It's just for our use, this will say Open House or Virtual Open House. Okay, so I'm going to say Open House, and then right down here it says Customize Back Half. So we can change those alphanumeric code that they give us into something that's a little bit more descriptive for our parents. So in this case, I'm going to choose probably Open House and then hyphen or my first and last name. But we can't use dots. I like to use dots to separate things in here, but since it's a URL, we can't do that. So we can use a dash or a hyphen or an underscore. I'm going to use a dash. So let's go ahead and say Open House. I'm going to leave it lowercase just so it's easy to type in if they need to ever. And then I'm going to put hyphen or dash my name and my last name. I'm going to use both because it's a little easier for me to identify and or the teachers to identify. We've got 2 Hallams in the school district, so it makes it a little bit more clear. Then I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And what you'll notice is it says it's been edited. And if I click out of it, I can go down here. It'll say Open House. That's why we called it Open House. I can clearly see that it's Open House. I can see the Teams meeting link here. And then I can go ahead and copy this, and you can see the actual shortened URL right here. So that'll be nice and neat for our soft school. School soft. All right, so I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to take that back over to the tab that I've got SchoolSoft open on. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to navigate right back over here. It'll say SchoolSoft. You can see it's where we left off. Everything is as we left it. I'm going to go ahead and click inside of this box for the virtual meeting link, and I'm going to Control V or right click paste. Either way, again, more than one way. And I should be all set to click Submit. I think I might have to click I have read the terms and conditions, and then I'm going to click Submit. Once I've done that, hopefully our login stayed there, and you can see, and I clicked kind of fast, I went back to my profile, and I went down to the bottom. You can see that my bit.ly link is right here, and I am set for my conferences. To confirm, I'm going to go back to my conferences tab, and I'm going to go ahead and select that session, right? And once it opens, I'll see all my information, and I should see virtual conference link. This is the link that will be emailed to the parents at the appropriate time for soft school, and then they will click it and to come in. Remember, that link is live from the time that you sent it. We did set it up so the lobby won't let them in, so you don't have to worry about that, but it is a Teams meeting, so it's live constantly. If you need to get into your meeting because we made it in Schoology and it's not in your Outlook, you can just log in to Soft School, and you'll notice you can click this link and it will take you to a Teams window where you can say open in the Teams app, which I recommend, and or you can cancel and open it in the tab, right? Or on the, and I'm sorry, in the browser. So that should conclude everything that we need to do for Soft School, your virtual open house, and your Teams meeting. We've made it nice and neat for our parents using a bit.ly, and we've talked a little bit about some of the settings. So without further ado, I think you're ready to go and have a great open house. So I'm jealous that I don't get to have one this year. I do enjoy open house and sharing a little bit with my families in there. So enjoy, and if you need anything, go ahead and contact us in the Gang of Geeks support forum, which is the one-stop shop for everything that you need related to EdTech support. All right, thanks again. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.